Hi, I'm Donna Gift Warder, the wife of Dylan Warder, and we have been together for 5 years. And I just wanted to share this with you because not only do I believe the world would be a better place if there were more men who led their families like my husband does, but because I've seen his work over the years with men and women and couples, and I've seen the wild transformations he's been able to get them. I've seen him pour everything he has into his clients, deliver on his promises. I've watched the video testimonials that they've sent him, and it's just simply amazing what he does. So, if you've ever felt stuck or frustrated in stepping into a healthier, more masculine version of yourself, Dylan is the perfect man to help you work through it internally or with your partner. He's just skilled in communication and leadership. It's truly his God given gift. So before Dylan, I was a hyper independent boss babe, focused on my career, hyper masculine, controlling, working to prove something. On top of that, I had deeply seated trust issues from watching my dad cheat on my mom for several years. I had abandonment wounds from when my parents went back to the Philippines the minute I hit 18. I really had to figure a lot out for myself, and I just didn't trust anyone to step in to support or help me in any part of my life. But since I've met Dylan, he slowly helped me to break down all of my walls, showed me that good men actually exist. They are out there. And he was just really patient with me while I worked through a lot of my unaddressed trauma and helped me come out the other side softer, more feminine. I'm pregnant right now, happily have put my business on the side, fully trusting Dylan to provide. I'm trusting in his ability to lead while still feeling empowered as his wife. And I really have a whole new respect for stay-at-home moms. I feel I finally put my guard down where I don't feel like I have to fight to survive. Now I actually feel safe in my femininity, and because of that, I feel more at ease, creative, loving, able to rest and recover where it's needed. And when I'm working, I'm in flow instead of trying to operate in such a rigid and hustle culture. I'm moving the way I believe most women would move if we were given the chance without the pressure to perform as a man. I think to myself often how the one great thing God absolutely blessed me with is my husband and our relationship. Our ability to communicate has been one like I have never experienced before, and it's something I wouldn't trade for the world. He's the first man I've seen put in so much effort to connect on a daily basis. And if there was a season where we're both a little bit more busy, he and I have check ins in place to make sure that we don't slip on our priorities, which is one another. And because our communication is great, our intimacy is effortless, and our sex life naturally follows that, being just as amazing. We had a little moment in the beginning of my pregnancy where I was still adjusting to the changes and sex wasn't as often, but still weekly, and we made some adjustments. Now we're having sex basically every day again. There truly is a lot of trust and love in our relationship. We developed early on that communication was one of our core values, and we are quick to address anything and everything, even if the conversation is difficult to have, because we have built that foundation of safety that is necessary to have those difficult conversations. He's proven to me time and time again that he's willing to listen and put his own ego aside for the better of us, and through his restraint and his humility, we're able to hold that space for one another. It's by no means perfect. Naturally, there are some conversations we need to put a pause in and address again when things are less emotionally charged. But for the most part, we have learned to stop yelling, we take a breath, and we speak quite calmly to one another, which is very different from my previous relationships. And because of that, we are actually able to resolve what we're discussing in the first place. I will say it definitely took some patience and practice on my end, because when we first started dating, we had some of the most intense blowout fights that I have ever experienced. He had some insecurities in who I had dated in the past to where he hired his own coach to overcome it. I knew he was a good man, but when it came to me, it seemed like he lacked a lot of patience and his emotions would just escalate an issue very quickly. So I mentioned earlier that I had abandonment and trust issues. And when I tried to bring that to him in the past, he would take it personally and get defensive while I tried to work through some of those things. It really did take some practice before he started to learn how to regulate his own emotions to hear what was actually going on. And over time, he finally stopped trying to fix all of it for me and realized He just needed to create a safe space for me to work on it myself. And that's really what he does for his clients daily. But at the time, it was difficult for him to take a step back and realize that that's what he needed to do for me as well. But we continue to work through it, and now he's much slower to anger. We're rarely speaking over each other, and even our more difficult conversations don't really feel that intense. They feel more stable, grounded, and we are very quick to resolve it. I really can't remember when was the last time we had a blowout fight. The last I can remember was when I probably took something more personally, but I knew it was my hormones because I'm pregnant. Even then, when I felt like I knew I was pushing his buttons, he met me with compassion and we got to the root of it pretty quickly. So I'm sharing all of this because I know that Dylan is the man who can help you if you feel like you're having consistent conflict in your relationship, if she doesn't trust you, if she lost respect for you because you made mistakes for far too long, if you're trying to rebuild that trust by showing true, healthy masculine leadership that honors her and God, if you're wanting a relationship and a marriage like we have, one where your wife respects and loves you, supports you, believes in you, trusts you, appreciates you, admires and desires you, you need to work with my husband. And I promise you, if you're willing to do the work, that version of you is on the other side of it and you will see the results. My husband is a living, walking example of it. And you taking that first step to lead will create a domino effect within your home, your business, and every other aspect of your life, because your relationship with who you choose to do life with is one of the single most important things that affects all other areas of your life. And if Dylan can lead someone as hard-headed, stubborn, controlling, and hyper independent as me into this soft, loving, feminine wife that literally desires to please her husband, he can definitely help make that shift in your household too, but it needs to start with you. And to the woman or wife watching, you supporting your husband doing this is an investment in what you want as well. You want him to step up to his leadership for you and your children or your future children. My husband can help maximize the probability that you also get what you want and fast track the entire process. And I want you to remain open to the fact that people can and will change if the pain is big enough. And trust me, if you came across this testimony and you're still here listening to it, you're here for a reason because you're at that point. So if you allow him the space to work on himself and support him through it, you can actually watch the man you first fell in love with turn into the same man, but better. When you witness that and truly believe in the changes, it'll give you a sense of relief that you've never experienced in your relationship. You'll feel safe enough to trust him with difficult conversations. You'll be able to rely on him to step up to the plate where he used to fall short. You'll have more intimate moments which lead to greater sex, and sex with your husband when you're emotionally and deeply connected feels so spiritual and so free. You'll be able to speak about things without his poor reaction. You'll feel heard, loved, and cherished as well. And all of that love carries all throughout your family. Be sure to book a call with him if you haven't already. I am also happy to hop on a call with you or your wife if that also helps you to make the best decision.